Today is April 22, 2022. I'm going to visit such a place which is isolated from the human settlement. This place is located in the middle of a jungle, dense jungle. And I had heard since my childhood that there are few lonely houses. So I wanted to visit that place. It's like my dream coming true. So I am going there, and on the way we met one of our friend, and we had some chit chat. And as you can see, I'm sweating because of scorching heat. It was so hot, and after our chat, we started our journey on the bank of the Kailali River. The Kailali River is the longest river in Nepal, and as you can see, there are beautiful rocks, and the river is following. And across Kailali River, I used to travel to my birthplace when I was a child with my family members. I remember those days. And also the jungle is so dense, and we sat down for a while and talked about the lifestyle in the middle of the jungle, how people live there. And when we were having a chat, we saw some people across the river. They were fishermen, and we whistled them, and they asked us what they are looking for, and we said if they would sell, and then they said no. So we continued our journey. We continued our journey for some time, and we saw some houses there, and then we took a rest, and again we continued journey. And the jungle was, because of the season, it didn't look so dense, but it was very difficult to walk, especially in some places, and it was getting dark. It was we started our journey around 5 o'clock, and then we kept walking, and we also saw some stone houses. I think the houses were built there, and there are no houses in this area anymore. And we continued journey, and I saw so many small bushes. It was not very difficult to walk in this particular place. And we came to one of the first lonely house, and I was very shocked to see on the right side there was a little stream following. On the left side there was a small mountain, but the house was so isolated. I didn't see anybody around, I didn't see any other houses around. I couldn't believe it, how people are living in that house, especially when they are sick or something happens to them because of a snake or any jungle animals. And we approached the house, which is a boy and then there are some cattle, and we took a break. And after I was sweating a lot. It was very difficult journey in a way because of heat and also lots of very sharp rocks and all bushes and all these things. And when I was checking in the mountain, the bare mountain, there were not many trees. I saw one small animal. It's called Ghorol in Nepali, which is similar to deer in many ways, or goat in many ways. So my phone was just moving here and there, and we continued our journey again. It was getting darker and darker. It might be a little hard for you to see because of my camera, and I was kind of afraid of jungle animals, especially in that where there would be when the water source. When I see water sources, I was thinking there might be some jungle animals. And then we continued our journey again, and then I saw big green forest. That was so good to see that, and we plan to stay in this house. This is another house which is also very much isolated, and sometimes only one or two people are living in this house. And there are some other houses, but they are empty. There are some other houses nearby, but they are empty now. They are not occupied, and people use this place for grazing cattle, and some people gathered in that house where I was staying, and they were smoking, and I wanted to take a puff, and I wanted to smell this tobacco, and with the clay. Tobacco with clay, and then we all shared that smoke. Let's say ethnic. This is called sulpa in local language, and I also found nearby. I will find a fruit called bell. It's a sticky fruit. It was not ready to be eaten at that time, but I ate, and then I also checked around that place and saw some bear. Because of the wildfire, it was so many things were bare there. That was not dense in some places, and we also wanted to fish, so we went to a little stream, and we're using all traditional technique to catch some fish, and then there were very small fish, but we wanted to catch them as many as possible. We used that technique by directing water to other side. It was fun. I enjoyed every bit of it. Then we We walked, we continued our journey. We wanted to see the place, and I wanted to see the lifestyle of people there, how they are living and what they do. That was so fun for me. We had a dog. It was following us everywhere, wherever we went. And finally, we are going to approach in a place where, again, there are many big mountains, but there are not many trees, and this area it seems that it floods in the rainy season. And we came to this house. This is another lonely house in the middle of the jungle. I didn't see any other houses nearby, at least few miles, and we saw there was some clothes and other utensils, but no, it seemed that they were not in the house at that time. We called them because we wanted to have a chat with them, but there was nobody. So we just check around, and we wanted to see the area nearby, and it was very, very difficult for me to imagine how difficult it is to be there, especially during rainy season. On the other side there is a stream which is flooded. On the other side there is jungle, and these are the fish we caught, and that was our dinner for the day. And I also saw some markets in that people were using to grind wheat rice. And we also headed to another part. I wanted to go to the mountain top, and I saw the water. The water was kind of iron color, I would say, like yellowish, and it was falling. And I came to know that people use this water, they drink this water, and I thought that maybe there are so many harmful chemicals there, but people have been drinking this water for many, many years. So I just checked and saw different springs of water popping up, and we met our friend here. He's just smiling, and we had a chat with him, and he wanted to join us and go to the top of Mount Everest. And I fell suddenly, and I had big scratch there. On the other hand, and also we got some fruit from the jungle called tata. And yes, this is the mountain top. Finally we got there after about 1 hour hike. It was very, very difficult for me. I was tired. It was sunny for there, and I saw some little villages, few huts in the middle of the forest. I took some photos on all the mountains. I could see so many. I could see very far from this area, and I was surprised to see. I was very excited to see these mountains. They are like fingers. Then we came back and we saw another lonely house, and we talked to this young lady. The little house she had, and she had menstruation. She said that she had menstruation, and she planned to stay overnight in this little Y stick. She's making her house there, and they said that the tiger, cheetahs, and all jungle animal come in that area, and she wanted to stay there. No safety at all. I could not even believe. I suggested her that she should not stay there. Maybe she has to go in another house, the bigger house. There are risk of being attacked by tiger or snakes, a very poisonous snake, king cobra, and other the snakes could be there. So I did my best to provide her suggestion, but she is still, because of her menstruation, she said that she could not enter the house. That's her culture. And after a few chit chats, we climbed down with our friend and also our dog, and it was very steep there. I could not even take the nice photo shot. I fell many times. I had some minor accident, but I enjoyed it. I don't think that I was feeling anything bad about it. And then we came down and we saw some other little mountain, and we wanted to go, and from that place, this place is called Damakantar. We wanted to go from here to Jamunarsi, where my birthplace is. I wanted to take a shortcut like my grandfathers and people hundreds of years ago or before that, they used to come from that shortcut path, and they used to graze their cattle, cut bamboos, and go back to the village. I wanted to go that path, and I wanted to try live the life what they went through. I wanted to understand. I wanted to experience that. So on the way, I find some jungle fruit they call khajuri. I tested them, and after that we continued our journey. It was very difficult. I saw some beautiful trees, green trees, and I stayed there in the shade, and there are so many insects attacking me. I was dehydrated. I had not enough water. The journey would continue for many hours if we could find the way to take that path. But it seemed that people are not using that path anymore because of transportation, because of road. They are taking buses. They don't take this path anymore. But I wanted to take that path. I tried my best. It was very scary place. There was nothing, only rocks, trees, and I only heard airplane flying over me, nothing else. And my wound was it was because of sweat. I had more pain, but I was determined to find that path that people used many years ago. But I don't know if I can go there and if I can find that path, because it seemed that people didn't use that for many years, So it's just like there were so many similar area which look like that historical path, but hard for us to figure out. But we are determined to continue the journey. And after staying there, after taking a rest for a while and drinking water, I was afraid that I would be running out of water, because there was no any water source there, and I was sweating a lot. I didn't know what to do, but I was just sipping the water, not even so that I can save the water. So again it was tough, sweating. I didn't know that what to do, because there was nobody who could provide any help in that place. And finally we came to the place which is the pass which should be crossed to go to the next village, which is my birthplace. After crossing that mountain ridge, I had to walk about 3-4 hours, and my uncle right there, he was trying to find the way. It was very difficult, and he told me that one of the villager, he fell and died there. And when I saw that the fire and all this kind of thing, that the rocks were falling very nearby, and big rocks, so the deer and other animals are walking. He told me that it's difficult to find that place, because even though he could pass it by using that holding the grasses, I might not be able to get on the top and cross that, because other side was more steep, more difficult, even difficult for him. So he suggested me that I should not even try, because I might have accident. So I was sad, but we came back. I wanted to take that, I wanted to cross that, but he said this time, because of the wildfire, there is nothing to hang on to, nothing to hold on to. So this time we can come back, and maybe we can try next time. And I said that's fine, and we came back. It was a good journey, I would say. And especially because of the season, it was a bit difficult for me, so I used walking stick, and I wanted to see that little black thing on the rock, and they told me that this could be coal mine. Possibility of coal mine there. Possibility coal there. So my sister said that she could bring some sample, some coals from there, and she went there on the rock. It was difficult. She got some pieces, and she came back. For me it was I think it was a coal, but I was not very sure. So she asked me what could it be, but I was not 100% sure. And she told me that they put that in the fire, and it produces good fire. It helps ignite the fire. So I thought that should be cool. This place looks like a very untouched place. People haven't even, there are so many things could be hiding under the rocks. Nobody has investigated. My sister, she just wanted me to put all and take the sample. I said only one or two would suffice, because I wanted to use that as sample with you. And while I was trying to put that in my bag, she said no, she wanted to use leaves. She suggested me that leaves would be better, and she covered. And we came back to the same house again, the lonely house. And at this time we met this woman. She the one who is staying in this house by herself. And I asked her, I had a nice chat with her, and I asked her if she was not afraid at night, and she said not at all, not afraid of tiger, cheetah, snakes and nothing. And I asked her what she would do. She said there are tigers around, but they don't enter the house. They sometimes kill our cattle, goats, but she would be okay because she has been living there for many years. Sometimes her husband or her children come, but her husband goes to India to work, and her children go to study about 35 or 40 miles from that place, maybe more, and they just come there only during their holidays. Rest of the time she just sits there by herself. I was so excited to see that the landscape and all crops he was using. And we came back to the same river, the bank of the river. If we fall, we might just go into the water, and the water is very, very deep there and very dangerous. And on the way we walked. It was a tough journey. And these rocks are very pointed. If I fall, I would have some accident. For that I would be very careful. And we walked on the bank of the river for a few hours, and I enjoyed these rocks. It was fun for me to step on the rocks. As a nature lover, I tried to be careful, but I still fell many times. And after walking some time, I was so tired, and I took a break, and I saw by using my binoculars, I checked the area, and it was so beautiful, especially across the river, across the Kailali River. There were people walking, and also so we continued the journey, and we took some photos, selfies, and my friends there, they wanted to take selfie many times, and I took photo for them, and it was a wonderful journey, I would say. I had been dreaming since my childhood that I wanted to go to that place called Damakantar. Damakantar means is a place which is located in the middle of the jungle and surrounded by all pointed hills, mountain, all flora and fauna. And on the way back home, my friends share and my sister share stories, ghost stories, and what happens at night, and how animals attack their cattle and how they survive, what happens when they are sick, what happens if they are whenever they have any other problems, flood, landslide, and etc. And I enjoyed that ghost stories a lot, because they were sharing that many people died. The shepherd and the cattle herders, shepherd, buffalo herders, they died when they were cutting branches of the tree. They fell and died there, and it is believed that they became ghosts. And my tiredness was relieved in some way because of these stories, and after talking to them, I felt refreshed. Then I used my stick, which was so helpful for me. I thought that stopped me from falling on the rocks. The rocks were slippery and I could trip anytime. And then finally we came to the place where I can see the bridge there, and we came in this place and we had a chit chat, and from there we wanted to say goodbye. So it was a wonderful journey. I would never forget my trip to Damakantar. And finally we could drink water as much as we can, because we have tons of water there now. So it was so good. I wanted to go to Damakantar again.